Good morning. Welcome to our midweek devotional. Again this week coming from All God's Creatures, published by Guideposts. Our author for this week is Peggy Frezon. And the verse she chose is Psalm 116, verses 1 and 2. I love the Lord, for he heard my voice. He heard my cry for mercy. Because he turned his ear to me, I will call on him as long as I live. And the title for her devotion today is The Foxes Under the Shed. And our author writes, God designed us with 6 senses, but I find I use some more efficiently than others. In particular, there are times when I'm lacking in the listening department. I spend a lot of time asking God for help, but how often do I quietly listen for what he wants to tell me? Recently, 5 baby red foxes were born under our backyard shed. I was delighted with the opportunity to watch them. Several times a day, I snuck up to peek from behind the shed. Sometimes I caught the kits poking their heads out of the den. Other times, they were playing. Their fur was reddish gray, they had black feet, and a white tip on their tail. But what struck me most were their broad, proficient ears. Twitching and rotating atop their heads, these ears could turn to the sides and toward the back. One ear could even move independently of the other to pinpoint the source of a sound. Those excellent ears worked most wonderfully. They helped the foxes hunt, avoid predators, locate food, and identify intruders. They always picked up my presence, still as I tried to be. How much more could I pick up if I listened with such care? If only I used my ears more when spending time with God. After a few months, the foxes grew up and abandoned the den, but they left behind the image of their attentiveness and an example I challenged myself to follow. Now, during prayer time, I think of the foxes and those magnificent ears. I listen for you, God, and your soft, gentle words of wisdom for me to pursue. And she closes with a verse from Scripture from Matthew chapter 13, verse 16. But blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear. Let us listen in the coming week more attentively to hear the voice of God and what he wants us to hear. Thank you for joining me. I hope you will join me again next week, and also join us for worship service at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning, either in person or on YouTube. Have a great week.